Fort Myers versus Cape Coral, which one is right for you? Most people think choosing between Fort Myers and Cape Coral is simple, but it's actually one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they move here. Because the truth is, you're not really choosing between two cities. You're choosing between dozens of completely different lifestyles, and if you get it wrong, you could end up stuck with the exact opposite of what you thought you were buying into. I've helped families move into every one of these areas, and I can tell you, Fort Myers and Cape Coral are worlds apart. But even inside each one, the neighborhoods can feel like different planets. And here's the kicker. What makes these areas so appealing on the surface is often the very thing that frustrates people after they move. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to break down both cities, not just the city level, but their hidden pockets. In Fort Myers, that means everything from historic charm along McGregor Boulevard to the family-friendly suburbs of Gateway to the island lifestyle of Fort Myers Beach. And in Cape Coral, we'll go quadrant by quadrant, from the boater's paradise of Southwest Cape to the budget-friendly Northeast to the new construction boom in the Northwest. So let's talk about the lifestyle, because this is usually the first thing people imagine when they're comparing Fort Myers and Cape Coral. But here's the catch. What lifestyle means in Fort Myers depends entirely on which part of Fort Myers you're actually talking about. Take downtown Fort Myers, for example. The River District has that walkable city feel, weekly art walks, live music, festivals, restaurants right on the water. But it also comes with the headaches, like limited parking and the occasional surprise assessment if you're in a condo. Just a few miles away, the McGregor Boulevard and Iona area feels completely different. It's old Florida charm, tree-lined streets, waterfront estates, and boating access to the Gulf. But those same older homes and mature neighborhoods can also mean higher insurance and renovation costs. Then you've got Gateway and the Forum, which are basically self-contained suburbs east of I-75. Think newer construction, family-friendly communities, sports complexes, golf courses, and quick access to the airport. A lot of families moving from out of state land here because it feels familiar. On the other end of the spectrum is San Carlos Park. This area is more affordable, popular with first-time buyers, students from FGCU, and investors. But it can feel tighter, and you need to watch for things like septic systems or homes that have been flipped with cheap updates. And finally, Fort Myers Beach, which is its own world. Laid back, colorful, and all about island living. But post-Hurricane Ian, it's still rebuilding, so patience is required if that's where you're headed. Now compare that with Cape Coral, and here's where people are usually surprised. Cape Coral is one unified city, but it's divided into 4 very different quadrants, and your experience depends almost entirely on which one you choose. In the Southeast Cape, you'll find the original core. Older homes, more affordable prices, and the fastest commute into Fort Myers. Some canals here have fixed bridges though, which means not every boat will fit through. Southwest Cape is the showpiece. This is where you'll find higher end homes, waterfront dining, Cape Harbor, Tarpon Point Marina, and some of the quickest Gulf access for boaters. It's also where prices climb the highest. Head north and it shifts again. Northeast Cape is more affordable with lots of freshwater canals and lakes. It's popular with young families who want a single family home without breaking the bank. And then there's Northwest Cape, where you'll find wide open land, tons of new construction, and a much quieter vibe. But here's the trade-off. You're 30 to 40 minutes from bridges and shopping. For some, that peace and quiet is exactly what they want. For others, it feels isolated. So even inside these two cities, you've got completely different worlds. Cape Coral is a boating culture and suburbia, but your quadrants make or break the experience. Fort Myers, it's not one city at all. It's downtown, McGregor, Gateway, San Carlos, and even a barrier island. And lifestyle is only half the story, because once you start looking at the cost of living, from home prices and the insurance to those hidden expenses nobody warns you about, the trade-offs get even bigger. So let's break down what it actually costs to live in each area. In Fort Myers, prices swing wildly depending on where you are. Downtown and the River District condos can look affordable at first glance, but what gets people are the surprise HOA assessments. After the last hurricane, some owners got hit with bills in the tens of thousands for repairs. Move over to McGregor and Iona, and you'll see beautiful homes along tree-lined streets and the Caloosahatchee River. But these older homes often mean higher insurance premiums, expensive updates, and roofs that don't meet today's codes. Head out east to Gateway and the Forum, and the picture changes. Here you're looking at newer construction, so insurance tends to be lower, and everything feels fresh. But you'll also have HOA and CDD fees built into your monthly costs, which not everyone expects. San Carlos Park is where many first-time buyers and investors land because it's one of the cheapest entry points in Fort Myers. But what looks like a good deal can come with hidden costs. Septic tanks instead of city sewers, or homes that have been flipped with quick cosmetic updates that don't solve deeper issues. In Fort Myers Beach, that's premium territory. Waterfront living with direct beach access comes at a steep price, and insurance there is some of the highest in the county. For many buyers, it's less about affordability and more about lifestyle. Cape Coral tells a different story. The Southeast Cape is the most affordable quadrant, but you're dealing with older homes, often built in the 70s and 80s. Renovations can add up fast, and if you're near the water, you might run into those fixed bridges that limit your boating options. Southwest Cape is the high dollar side. Gulf access canal homes here can rival or even beat Fort Myers in price, but people pay it because you're minutes from open water and close to Cape Harbor or Tarpon Point Marina. Up in the Northeast Cape, it's a different vibe. You'll find lots of affordable single-family homes on freshwater canals and lakes. But remember, freshwater doesn't connect to the Gulf. It's more for kayaking and fishing than boating. In the Northwest Cape, that's where all the new construction is happening. You can still get big lots and brand new homes at a lower price per square foot, but here's a trade-off. You're far from bridges, shopping, and daily conveniences. That isolation is either a deal breaker or exactly why people move there. So the real cost of living here isn't just about the sticker price on a home. It's the flood insurance in McGregor, the HOAs in Gateway, septic systems in San Carlos, and whether your Cape Coral Canal even lets your boat reach the Gulf. Even if you find the perfect home at the right price, your day-to-day life is still shaped by one thing: the commute. Traffic, bridges, and access to everything you need can make or break your experience. And that's where the differences between Fort Myers and Cape Coral hit the hardest. In Fort Myers, the commute depends almost entirely on which pocket you're in. If you're along McGregor or Iona, you've got gorgeous scenery, but McGregor Boulevard turns into a parking lot in season. Locals joke that if you're not past Colonial Boulevard by 4 p.m. in January, you're stuck. Downtown, you're right in the action, but you'll deal with limited parking and traffic during events, which can happen almost every weekend. Gateway and the Forum flip that script. With direct access to I-75, you can be at RSW Airport in 10 minutes or in Naples in 30. The trade-off? You're 30 minutes or more from the beaches. And then there's San Carlos Park. It's centrally located, which sounds great, but Daniels Parkway and US 41 back up so badly during season that even a grocery run can take twice as long. Fort Myers Beach is a whole different beast. With one road on and off the island, a quick trip can turn into 45 minutes or more during peak season. For some people, that's paradise. For others, it's a deal breaker. Now Cape Coral. And here's where people really underestimate things. The city has over 400 miles of canals, but only 3 bridges that connect you back into Fort Myers. And 2 of those are toll bridges. If you're in the Southeast Cape, you're closest to the Midpoint or Cape Coral Parkway Bridge, which makes commuting into Fort Myers manageable. Southwest Cape is a little farther from the bridges, but still convenient compared to the north. Northeast Cape works if you're near the Midpoint Bridge, but go too far east and you'll add 15 to 20 minutes to every drive. And Northwest Cape, that's where the trade-offs get real. You'll find beautiful, quiet neighborhoods and lots of new construction, but you're 30 to 40 minutes just to get across a bridge. For some people, that peace and quiet is exactly what they want. For others, it feels like living out in the country. So here's the bottom line. In Fort Myers, your commute depends on which pocket you pick. In Cape Coral, it depends on which bridge you live near. And for a lot of families, this daily drive is the difference between loving where they live and regretting the move. And by the way, I've got tools and guides that go even deeper than what I can cover here. If you want the inside scoop on neighborhoods, flood zones, and costs, just shoot me a text or give me a call. But it's not just about how long you're on the road. It's about where that road takes you. The restaurants, parks, beaches, and lifestyle options around you completely shape how you'll actually live here. So let's break down what that looks like in Fort Myers and Cape Coral. Fort Myers has a little bit of everything. If you're near downtown in the River District, you'll be in the middle of art walks, music walks, festivals, and some of the best local dining in Lee County. It feels like a small city with a big personality. Live along McGregor or Iona and you're minutes from the Sanibel Causeway. That means quick beach trips, boating out to the Gulf, and access to riverfront dining. But again, you'll pay the price in seasonal traffic. Gateway and the Forum flip the script again. Instead of beaches, you get family sports complexes, soccer fields, golf courses, and gated community amenities. Families love it here because everything's self-contained. San Carlos Park is all about proximity. You're near FGCU, Gulf Coast Town Center, and Miramar outlets. That means shopping, dining, and a younger, student-driven energy. And of course, Fort Myers Beach is its own world. Parasailing, fishing charters, waterfront bars, and a sunset culture you can't find anywhere else. It's beach living 24/7. Cape Coral, on the other hand, is built around its waterways. In the Southeast and Southwest Cape, it's all about waterfront dining, boating marinas, and community events. Cape Harbor and Tarpon Point are the social hubs. You can boat to dinner, grab a cocktail, and listen to live music. The Northeast Cape offers freshwater canals and lakes. You're not heading out to the Gulf here, but you can kayak, fish, or paddleboard right out of your back door. And in the Northwest Cape, you'll find nature preserves, kayak trails, and the future 7 Islands project, a planned waterfront community that's expected to transform the area. Right now, it's more about wide open spaces and peace and quiet. And here's a fun nugget. Cape Coral actually has more canals than Venice, Italy. But Not all canals are created equal. Some lead straight to the Gulf, others are freshwater only, and some come with bridge or lock restrictions that dictate which size boat you can even own. So here's the takeaway. Fort Myers leans towards culture, beaches, and events. Cape Coral leans toward boating, canals, and suburban community life. Both offer amazing amenities, but they couldn't be more different in how you'll actually spend your weekends. Now, if you've got kids or you're planning to, all those lifestyle perks are great, but let's be honest. None of it matters if the schools, sports, and education options don't work for your family. And this is one of the biggest deciding factors between Fort Myers and Cape Coral. In Fort Myers, schooling is really a patchwork. If you're along McGregor or Iona, you're close to some of the best private schools in the county, Bishop Verot High School and Canterbury School, both of which are highly sought after. The catch? They come with steep tuition and waiting lists. Gateway and the Forum are newer master plan areas with newer public schools, plus growing charter options. That's one reason so many relocating families end up there. It feels safe, suburban, and the school system is relatively new. San Carlos Park, on the other hand, is zoned for a mix of schools. Some are decent, some are not as strong, and many families here try to game the school choice lottery to get into better programs across the district. That lottery process can be frustrating, especially for new residents who assume living near a school means they'll get in automatically. And then Fort Myers Beach. Before Ian, the local elementary school had a small, tight-knit reputation, but most families commuting from the beach now enroll inland. Cape Coral works very differently. The city has built its reputation around its charter school system. In the Southeast and Southwest Cape, you've got access to Oasis Charter Schools and Cape Coral Charter. These are some of the most competitive schools in Lee County, and people literally camp out overnight during the application week just to get in. Families move to Cape Coral specifically for these schools. The Northeast and Northwest Cape have newer public schools, and as growth pushes north, more options are being added. But here's the thing, the farther out you go, the fewer choices you have. Families in the Northwest often accept longer drives to get to schools in the South. In sports, Cape Coral High is known for soccer, Mariner High is a strong baseball program, and yes, families actually choose neighborhoods based on athletic programs. So here's a takeaway. Fort Myers gives you private and magnet programs if you're willing to pay or fight the lottery system. Cape Coral gives you charter schools with huge demand, but you'll need persistence and a little luck to get in. So here's the bigger question. Even if the schools and lifestyle line up, which city or which pocket actually fits you? Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about picking a house. It's about picking the right fit. And every area has a type of person it works for and the type of person who almost always regrets it. Let's start with Fort Myers. If you love charm, character, and being close to cultural events, downtown or the McGregor area could be your sweet spot. It's perfect for professionals, retirees, or anyone who wants that old Florida feel with quick access to dining and events. But avoid this area if you're not ready for higher flood insurance or the upkeep that comes with older homes. Gateway and the Forum are built for families who want new construction, sports fields, golf courses, and easy airport access. If you travel a lot for work in Naples, this is a huge plus. But if your dream is quick beach days, you'll feel frustrated. San Carlos Park is ideal for first-time buyers, students, or investors who want affordability and rental demand from FGCU. But if you're looking for upscale neighborhoods or HOA polish, it's not your fit. And Fort Myers Beach, well, that one's obvious. If you're a beach lover who wants to walk barefoot to the sand, you'll be in heaven. But if you need quick commutes or stability while the area rebuilds, you'll want to look elsewhere. Now Cape Coral. Southeast Cape is for budget-conscious buyers who want an affordable entry point and don't mind older homes. But avoid it if you're expecting modern builds or wide canals for your 30-foot boat. Southwest Cape is for boaters, retirees, or higher income families who want the best waterfront dining, marinas, and quick Gulf access. But if you're on a tighter budget, this area will stretch you thin. Northeast Cape is a favorite for young families who want affordable homes and freshwater canals for kayaking or fishing. But if you dream of boating out to the Gulf, this isn't your quadrant. And Northwest Cape is for people who want peace, space, and new construction at lower prices. It's quiet and still developing. But if you need shopping, dining, or schools right around the corner, the commute will wear you down fast. So the bottom line is this, whether it's hidden insurance costs in Fort Myers or canal restrictions in Cape Coral, the small details make a massive difference. And getting it wrong can cost you thousands or leave you living a lifestyle you never signed up for. And in just a minute, I'm gonna give you a way to cut through all this confusion, skip the trial and error, and make sure you land in the right place the first time. So after all that, here's the truth. Fort Myers and Cape Coral aren't really two cities competing with each other. They're completely different lifestyles. And even inside each one, your experience changes block by block. If you want culture, events, and historic charm, Fort Myers is probably your fit. If you want boating, canals, and more space, Cape Coral might be the better choice. But remember, the wrong pocket in either city can flip that dream into a nightmare. And that's why this decision isn't something you want to guess on. If you're even thinking about moving here in the next year, call me or text me. I'll help you match your budget, lifestyle, and future plans to the right area so you don't waste money or end up regretting the move. And if you'd like to keep up with everything happening here, from the latest events and the things to do, weekly market trends, best buy of the week, and money saving tips and guides, make sure you subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link's in the description. But if you're wondering whether now is actually the right time to buy or sell here in Southwest Florida, check out my latest market update video coming up next. I break down what's really happening in our market right now and what it means if you're planning to move here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.